Hi everyone, welcome back to ITOM batch 3 day 30. How are you doing guys today?
You're doing good, Ajay.
Good,
Do
Yeah.
well.
good to hear. Thank you. Okay, so again, as you know, we are doing all the time, same things. Before going to be the next things, let me ask you again, is there any questions, any queries from the last covered sessions till now?
So, Ajay, just one query.
Hmm?
Not from the topics, but is CMDB health and ITOM health both are same or
CMDB health and ITOM health, right?
yeah?
I- I'm I'm little confused now because now let me tell you one more thing. Let me give you one scenario here. So what do you think? What is ITOM?
It's complete CMDB service mapping.
People's not understanding the difference, and if you know discovery only, example, okay, and you will see ITOM developer required. You are going to be apply for that, but you don't know the complete ITOM, right? But
Yeah.
end of the day you are doing the same thing, like you are going to be do for discovery CMDB, and slowly and gradually you are going to be pushing for event or service mapping side as well, right? The same
Yeah.
thing as well. So ITOM and the CMDB both are in if I say based on the naming convention are different things, but end of the day same as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be end of the day update the CMDB only, right?
Yeah.
To whatever the source you are using, like you are going for event management, you are going for service mapping. If your CMDB is up to date, if your CMDB looks good, everywhere you can utilize it. Otherwise, you cannot. Right. In that case, ITOM and CMDB health is same. But if you think little bit, a broad side on that, ITOM is complete ITOM health when they are asking to you, right? How your event management integration is working, is that creating the correct events, alerts or incidents, the correlation is working fine, is the service mapping, whatever you have created, is up to date all the time with the CIS or the CMDB, or the service mapping discovery is running on the time, changes happening on that side, that will update it automatically, right? Is discovery schedules are running on the time, what are the issues there, if some issues are there, have you fixed it on the time or not, right? So if you are measuring these particular all components, that ITOM health comes in the picture.
Okay. Yeah. Got it, Ajay.
That's
Thank you.
small, that's it. Okay, I think, yeah, then let's get started. Let me share my screen. So today's topic, which we are going to be discuss about the basic topics only. Almost we have, on end of the discovery in CMDB side. So I think by today's sessions, we are able to complete, and tomorrow we're going to be little bit discuss about the cloud discovery, AWS and uh, SCCM as well, right? So we'll discuss about three or four things basically here. HHCI field mapping, CMDB query builder, CMDB groups, and discovery dashboard basically, right? So let me go to instance.
Ajay, I have one
Uh,
question over here.
yes.
I know in CMDB, do we going to implement any kind of script like how any other things are only for configurations part?
Sorry, I'm not getting it. This one, can you repeat once again?
I'm saying that I'm asking that like in CMDB, it is only configurations, or do we need to do any kind of development activities?
So these are the development activities only, right? Now, development activities, if you are thinking only writing a code is a development activity, is not, right? But sometimes you have to write a code based on the some requirements, right? So I think someone is asking day before yesterday to me, Ajay, uh, some informations, like let me give you a scenario here again. You have some information capturing on virtual servers related to their failover informations, right? That you are capturing on virtual servers. In discovery side, how you will tackle that might be you are going to be create extension section, or might be you will going to be create a complete virtual vCenter discovery pattern to get that information. But end of the day, you are populating that information on the virtual machine instance table. Now requirement from the customer is you need to be populate the same thing on that Windows server as well as a CMDB health check, right? So how you will do? You have to write a business rule as well, or might be you have to be do some what I can say reference field need to be created on Windows server as well, right? And you are going to be put a reference of virtual machine instance table of that particular record or particular attribute to be populate there, or you are going to be use. There is one more thing I'm just forgetting more that you can means it depends on the requirements how you are going to be tackle that situation through writing a code or through configuration only, right? As ServiceNow always said, right, we are a low code instance now, right? So that things is moving from coding to the configuration side slowly and gradually. Right. So it's a development only, but you should know the process. You should know the configuration things, how you can tackle it. As you know, to doing a single thing, there are multiple ways to do that. If you are a developer, you are always going to be think about a coding mindset, right? You are going to be think like, let's write a business rule, let's do it, right? But as a architect or as a process owner, we are also thinking about that best solutions where we no need to require to do most of customization, most of coding, most of the coding, and we just able to achieve the same result, right? So we have to be think on that side as well.
Okay, actually, I didn't go through those sessions, which is your previous sessions. Let me go through that and I'll come back to you, Ajay. And one more thing, Ajay, is can you please conduct any kind of session like, separately for, after going through all those sessions, if any kind of question answers means it will be helpful for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that already in my plan, because as I mentioned just to you, I'm coming to that point only because CMDB and discovery we are going to be complete by tomorrow. Okay, so CMDB and discovery will complete, and Monday you have 2 days time. You can go to the all recordings, you can go to the all topics which we have covered till now, and Monday we have a Q&A session where I'm going to be check your knowledge, how much you grab it from here from this particular sessions. Also, I'm going to be help you out if you have any other questions related to that as well. Right. So Monday we have all, I've already planned for that one.
Okay. Okay.
And after that we'll moving to event management or service mapping, depends on, voting, or I can think about it basically. So
better it could be on Tuesday means like it will be helpful for us, like because almost a lot of gap we got right. So
but I can understand that sometimes due to some family emergencies or some things we are not able to make it for all the sessions, but yeah. The thing is only, what I feel, Mastan, every time we have to be make it consistent, everything, right? So what I do basically, right? So let's take an example. I have some emergency today, or I'm not able to take the sessions for you guys. It doesn't means ki I'm breaking that particular rhythm which I'm doing from last couple of days, right? So we have to be follow the same rhythm. If we are missing something immediately on the next day or after next day, we have to go through that, right? Or just make a point of it that I need to be asked or that I need to be revised again. Might be that topics is covered or this particular things will be happen. So we have to be think on that side. If somehow you missed 4 or 5 topics and you think now let me revise it, it's little tough to be gone all the 4 or 5 topics immediately or 4 or 5 sessions, right? It will take some time, and it's not that much easy. We can grab everything in one day. That's why I just put it for 1 hour sessions every day. Otherwise I can do one session in morning, one session in evening, or I can put it for 2 hour sessions, right? But
yep.
grabbing or getting that all knowledge in a single session, it's too much difficult for the new things, right? So just
Yes, Ajay.
just put the consistency and in your day-to-day activities, whatever you want to do. Now I just started something on LinkedIn, like I'm also learning about, I also working on cloud provisioning and governance side, and I'm also learning about that, right? So I'm just going through that course again, right? So what I thought, let's put on the LinkedIn on it, right? So if I'm doing something correct, someone people says yes, this is correct, but some pupils are there which feel this is not correct, Ajay. You have to be modified it. So I will get the feedback from there as well, right? So do that type of things as well on the ServiceNow community side or the LinkedIn sides to make your name brand as well. You
Sounds
will
good.
know more
Yeah,
things. You
got
will
it.
know more experience from the other peoples as well.
Yep.
But
Oh,
make it consistency.
sure, Ajay, definitely. And I have one more question, Ajay, which is part of item, like, just few minutes back, Abhi or someone is discussing, right? What is the item health and CMDB health, right?
Mhm.
In CMDB, what exactly, especially like, which it will going to focus on what, Ajay, in CMDB health and ITOM health?
But now,
Mm.
what nomenclature of the CMDB is defining you? The CMDB is configuration management database. End of the day, in CMDB, everything is data.
Yep.
Your data is correct. If your attribute value is correct, that means my CMDB is healthy, right? So here there are, as a I already showcase in the sessions, there are couple of metrics based on that we are calculating yes the data is correct and looks good to us. And based on metrics we can say, yeah, if this matrix is going to be above 90% score, that means my health CMDB is healthy, right? The same way ITOM is healthy, there is no matrix or no calculation for that, but how you are going to be captured or how you are going to be do that based on that feedback from the different teams. Like, if you are working for event management solution, okay, and you configured some event rule, alert rule, and end of the day you are creating incident for some different team, right? So if team is happy, if they are saying yes, incident is working on creating on the time, that's going to be assigned to the correct group, everything is correlation and things are going good, that means that is healthy. The thing is running in event management side, that looks good to you, and that's healthy basically, right? But and in different side, we also take care about my system or my ServiceNow instance health as well. Like it just it's not like that we are doing anything on that one, and due to that my jobs or schedule jobs or rules whatever we have configured it slow down, right? So we have to be do health check as well on the time to time basis for my instance as well.
I think you mean to say that CMDB health is mainly focus on quality
Yes.
and accuracy, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, fine. And ITOM, like it is for entire architecture, sorry, infrastructure, like how it is, Ajay, complete ITOM health.
ITOM Health is completely for complete ITOM modules which ServiceNow provided for us.
Like events and
Event, service mapping, discovery, whatever, or CPG is also their part of it, right? So it's for complete health. But there is no metrics. I have not seen any metrics for event, ITOM. But yeah, there are different dashboards available for event management dashboards or service mapping dashboard. Or I think now, workspace also introduced by ServiceNow, like CMDB workspace is there, and service operation workspace is there, which is helpful for event management and the service mapping queries related to that, right? So based on that, we can say, yeah, if something is not there, that means my complete ITOM health is good.
no, like if a particular item health is sorry, we are saying that item health is good. Like on what basis we are going to saying that item health is good? Like you mean to say that event monitoring or like in that way, in such a way, I'm looking, Ajay.
Right. So that's why I'm saying there is no matrix to calculate the complete
Okay.
ITOM health. But how you can measure, like if and you are working in an organization and they ask you, can you help to provide a insight of your ITOM health? How you are going to be understand that one, right?
Okay, got it.
Are going to be differentiate between discovery, service mapping, or event management. I'm just taking three now. If
Mm-hmm.
your discovery is running on the time, Okay, if the discovery is updating the CI on the time, right, there is no failure or less failure. Okay, 5 to 10% failure of the discovery issues, that you can see my discoveries looks good. Okay, then the same way event management you are running, event management creating events from different sources, then alerts, then incidents, right? And the correlation, whatever you have applied there, that's running fine. Then you can say, no, yes, my event management health is working fine, right? It's not impacting anything, and no, there is no process slowdown, and that's processing on the time, right? The same way for service mapping. If my CMDB is correct, service mapping is always correct, right? But after that, we have to be run the discovery of the service mapping on the time to time basis. So if any component is going to be replaced by in service maps, that will be updated automatically. Right.
Got it.
So
I think it
you
is, you're saying that item is of, it is for discovery schedules and event monitoring,
yes,
right?
if complete things is working fine, that I
Mhm.
can see item health looks good to me.
Okay, got it. But in CMDB, we have a 4 KPIs, right?
Yes, 3 KPIs:
So,
completeness, correctness, and compliance.
okay, and still will be come under that one, or like how it is?
Yeah, it still is come under the correctness one.
Okay, got it, Ajay. Thank you, Ajay.
Okay. Okay, I think then let's proceed for the next things. I hope other peoples are joining. Yeah, I can see. So what the today's topic is, there are, some relationships between asset and CI, right? And that life cycle, or I can say the field mapping happening together, right? So there are 3 tables which is happening in between, which is going to be follow to do the mappings. That is, yeah, asset CI field mapping, asset CI install or hardware. These are the 3 mappings table which is going to be used out between do the mapping from asset to CI. Right, let me quickly open one CI. I'm just going to be open the computer table. Oh, let's do the discovered one which we have just discovered last time. Windows Server. I'm not going to be cover the asset things, but just to be, you should know when you are managing your CMDB, what are the different ways your status, install status is going to be managed basically, right? So here, if you see, this is my Windows server and one asset is already created here based on that informations. Now just simple understand how the assets or the CI will be created. There are different ways to do that, right? So one way is, if you are if your team or your management is procuring something, so what life cycle will be happening here? They are giving a request or a purchase order to vendor. I need 5 Windows server. Okay, now 5 Windows server means it's not they are going to be provide to configure the Windows server on it, right? You just provide. I Let's take an example in simple words. Now, example, you need a new laptop. What you will do? You will go to a shop. You are going to be purchase a new laptop, or might be, it depends now what type of laptop you are purchasing. If you are purchasing MacBook, OS will be installed there. If you are purchasing a Windows, OS will be there. But if you are purchasing DOS system, right, Windows operating system will not be there. You can install your operating system over there, right? The same way, once you purchase that particular laptop, how now you can say, that's my laptop. You will assign that laptop with your name. Once you reach to your home, You will configure that name, whose name will be that this might be what Abhishek and all, right? Whatever you want to be put it, right? You are going to be configure the password, then everything you're going to be use it, right? The same way if you're another family member is purchasing the laptop, he's putting the name on their laptop or putting the password, right? Same thing happening here as well, right? So whenever a new person comes in any organization or new hardware is comes in an organizations, they will put a purchase order, then they will get the laptop or that server from particular vendor, and once they receive this particular one, they are going to be create a record in hardware table that we call ALM hardware table. If it is a hardware, don't be confused, there are lot other of product other of tables also, but if it is a hardware, if it's a computer, if it is a desktop, if it is a laptop, if it is a physical hardware for servers and other things, that will be created here. So once they, how the record is going to be created now in the particular table, using this manual can be created, or using the purchase order or that receipt which receive or they received from vendor side. This is the serial number of that machine. This is couple of informations. Based on that, they can automatic also be created. That can be possible, right? So once that is created there, that record will be looks like in that way, right? So general informations, they are putting some asset tag, serial number, they are going to be managed state, substate, and other fields as well, right? And also they are going to be manage the financial informations, like what is the cost of it, was which vendor is delivered to us, what is the request line, what is the invoice number related to manage that information, right? Disposal related informations, if they want to be disposed, what is the scheduled retirement after 4 or 5 years. Every organizations have a process. If they purchase a new hardware, that have a a retirement life of it, right? So after 2 years or 3 years they will do it, right? Then depreciation value they are going to be calculate on that one, and then contracts and allocations and couple of other things will be happening in this one, right? So I'm not going to an asset management side, but what I'm trying to say here, whatever the asset is creating here, there have some fields mapping together from asset to CI or CI to asset. Well, what will be happen? Example, if you see asset tag, right? Asset to configuration item. Now, if you see here, asset tag is blank, but if I just put asset tag is check with AJ, and I just save this one, this asset tag is updated here on my CI as well. See, immediately. So that syncing will be happening field to field. So sometimes scenario comes in the picture while we are managing our CMDB. Sir, this data is not updated. Asset tag is not updated earlier on the CI. How that is updated? Might be possibility someone updated from hardware side, right? And that's why it's updated on Windows Server or whatever that correspondence CI I believe related to that. The same way, if I just assign this laptop servers to any user, right? If I'm assigning here, when I assign this assign to, automatically my location, my department, and my company will be populated, right? And once I just save this on the hardware side, that also updated my company and assigned to here. So the thing is, this particular table which I just mentioned to you, asset CI field mapping, is just a mapping between a CI and asset, which we just need to know. Also, we can also create couple of more record in future. If customer is saying, if something happening on my CI related to any information, that should be mapped to asset as well, or the same way, if something happening on my asset, that should be mapped to my CI as well. And this is working in the both ways. If I just remove something from here, if I from the CI itself, where it is, yeah, if I remove this one again from here, it will also going to be update on the asset side. So that we need to know this particular table, that's asset CI field mapping. Any questions in this particular part?
So Ajay, for every CI, it should create asset.
No, every CI should not create asset. So, that is something different, but just quickly showcase you. Product models is there. All models I can say. Okay, let me open the model categories as well. Right, so let me group by name. We have different product models, different model categories available for that, right? So it's not that one, ungroup it, right? So basically we just, when we are getting a new asset or new CI type, we are defining, do we require a CI or not? Okay, or we also defining, if we are inserting a CI, do we require a asset or not? Right. So most of the organizations are following the one thing basically, which is a physical or a hardware asset that will go to the hardware table. If it is a consumables, that will go to the consumable tables. If it is facility related devices, that will go to the facility table or facility assets basically, right? So I'm just looking for that only, where it is product model. It should be in product model. No, application model bundle. Can you open this, or hardware models? I think, yeah. I'm just not able to find the correct thing. Let me see. I think this is the one, hardware models. Let me showcase you from here itself. Or also it's defining which table you are going to be do that, right? So if you see here, whenever I am going to be create a new hardware model, it's just, manufacturer or the name I'm going to be put it. I need to be select the model categories, right? So model categories we have available out of the box, in which model categories belong, right? If I'm just going to be create a computer, right? So computer, I can select it, and automatically that particular manufacturer or the model which I'm going to be create here, that tagged with the computer, right? Now once it's done, we also apply a product catalog, if that should be triggered from catalog items, if that's we want to be if any configuration item related to that we are able to see it automatically, right? So that things happens basically, right? So if I just quickly open the another one, let me leave this one just which is already created here. If I just open this one, see that information is there. There's one asset available with this asset serial number or asset tag that is there. This is the that manufacturer is this, the name of this is this, everything is there. Leave to category, model categories, computer, what is the cost of it. So we have to be first of all define the model categories or product model of it, and based on that we can think or we can define that required to be create a CI or not, right? But most of the organization, as I mentioned, they are looking for hardware things, like if, because end of the day they have to be manage the life cycle of the hardware as a asset, right? Not for the virtual machines. Virtual machine is, today one machine we have provisioned, and after that that's not required to do that, right? So we will ignore those particular things basically, right? So it depends basically organization to organization, but there are a couple of business rules running related to that to create an asset in CI, and you can look into that particular business rules if you don't want to create the assets for that particular type of CIs or particular type of assets you don't want to convert as a CI. Okay.
So for any CI to be created as an asset, we need product model category.
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
I'm looking for one more thing, which model categories, all models. No, that something is there. I'm just not recalling the name of it, where you can see the complete information immediately. Not sure where it is. Facility models, hardware models, software models. Or okay, and one more thing. There are two things basically, hardware and the software. For the both ways you can manage the life cycle. Now it depends what type of hardware it is, what type of life you are going to be managed, right? application models, facility models is there, hardware, service. No, I think I'm not able to recall that one. Okay, I will let you know later what is that correct table to, where you can define the all type of, models or product models in a single place, right? So I'm not recalling the correct name of the table right now. We'll let you know. So this is all about basically how asset CI field mapping will works together from here to there or there to here in the asset to CI, CI to asset basically.
Ajay, when it comes to asset, like, it is part of ITAM, or like how it is, Ajay, like it is part of
But
CMDB.
it's part of ITAM basically. There are two things now. Okay, so like, do you know CMDB is part of what module? When you are going.
Okay.
Okay, when you are going to be purchase a new ServiceNow instance for your organization, CMDB comes with which module?
ITOM.
No,
ITOM.
no. CMDB is the basic feature. Okay. On CMDB table means that whatever you are able to see related to the CMDB things, that is not for the ITOM. That is by default. If you are purchasing a ITSM module itself, or you are purchasing a CSM module, CMDB will be there. Okay. ITOM comes in the picture how you want to be manage your CMDB. Then you are going to be purchase ITOM. Okay, or how you are going to be manage your IT operations of your organization. Then that discovery and other things comes in the picture. CMDB is by default. The same way, ALM hardware table or ALM asset table comes by default. Means normal life cycle you can manage by default in ServiceNow with ITS. But when you want to be manage the complete life cycle of the asset, when you want to be automate your hardware asset management, then you go for ITAM. And there are two things, hardware asset management and software asset management. Hardware will work for hardware related type of assets where, as I just mentioned to you, you are defining or automating from procurement of the device to depreciation of the device, where you have different vendors from where you are procuring the device, entering that asset, then you are going to be manage the life cycle, then you're going to be manage that everything on it, right? And you are going to be create lots of catalogs or other things based on that. User or end user can trigger that or a request for a new type of laptop or new type of device, right? That comes in items, right? The same way for software lifecycle management, where you're purchasing some softwares, which are licensed softwares, what are the license date, when they are going to be end date, right? Before they expire, they have to be do some, I think, renewal of that particular software. The hardware side, you have some contracts as well. Sometimes company not purchasing the laptops, they are doing some lease plans from different vendors for they are taking for 2 or 3 years lease. So contract you have to be managed. So these particular things related to management of assets comes in ITAM. Okay. But for that, you need to require some subscriptions for hardware or asset management related things.
Okay.
So by default, whatever you are just I'm showcasing here, the ALM hardware table and just this one, this is by default. I have not enabled any ITAM plugin on my machine on this particular instance. Only simple ITOM discovery plugin is activated on this machine. Okay, so that we have to do. Now, second thing is asset CI install mapping. So basically, this particular asset CI install status mapping will work on my this particular where it is. Let me get one moment. Operational status.
Ajay, in which scenario we're going to look into the element underscore hardware table, like as you mentioning?
In which scenario?
Hmm.
I think we can look into that particular table, right? But if we are managing the CMDB, I'm not responsible, or I'm not bothering to be looking for that. That will be taken care by the asset management team, right? But the thing is only like if we feel some issue happens on my CMDB side and which we are not aware, or some attribute is updating. Right, so we should know how that is happening. If let's take an example, one which I'm going to be showcasing you now. If yesterday, somehow the CMDB team is managing, like we have 200 install Windows Server, a report they have created, 200 install Windows Server, we have it, and that's install status is installed. But next day they found that has been reduced to 160. Now you will see in CMDB reporting 200 is yesterday, now it's 160. Where is the 40? What happened to that 40 devices? Then you will come to the Windows Server table and just putting some filter and find out that has been marked as retired, but you have not done it. You are responsible for that is, but you have not done it. How that will be happen? Might will be that will happen through Windows through asset table or hardware table, because they got some informations from there and they just want to put it retired. If they put it retired, that has been done here as well, right? So in that case, in that type of scenarios, you have to be connect with asset team, or you should know it, how that that status attribute is syncing to each other, basically. So what okay, got it now?
Yes, Ajay, got it.
Okay, so what I'm just trying to say here, see example, what is your, sorry, let me go here. What your install status is showcasing now, its operational status is operational, install status is install. Why? Because if I just go here on this one, it's in use. Okay, if it in use and substate is none, if I go to hardware and if I put in use, let me put show matching. If you see in use, and if in use is this asset substate is blank, that is showcasing installed, right? If in use is this and asset substate is end of support, that is again showcasing installed. If it fulfillment or retirement, if it is also showcasing in install. But now let me do one more thing. If I just want to retired, so I can retire in the both ways, from from my CMDB CI to basically I can say from asset as well, right? So if I just put configuration item status as a retired, let me put here, I just put retired on operational status, I'm just putting retired. Okay, that will impact my here as well immediately. See, so state is changed to retired on the asset as well. If I again here, I'm just putting in maintenance. Okay, let me put something missing and it's stolen, right? I'm just putting state is missing and substate is stolen on asset side. That will impact here as well immediately, right? So install status is now operational status is non-operational, install status is stolen, right? So that this particular changing of the status is happening through that asset CI install status mapping. There is one more asset CI hardware status mapping, right? Which is again, let me open it. Asset substate, this one, and this one is working on configuration item status and substatus, right? So there is one more field on here on status substatus. Let me take it up. So there are two type of status basically. One is install status, which you can manage for any type of device. When I'm mentioning any type of device, you can manage for any virtual machine or anything, right? But if a hardware related status you want to manage, you have to go with, okay, where it is. Where I just put it, that one. Okay, here it is. So it just, if you want to specifically mention for hardware type of devices or hardware type of CIs, then you have to be referred the asset CI hardware status mapping, right? So I just mentioned to you, like, asset state and substate here. If it is missing and stolen, configuration item status is going to be stolen, right? Here, if I go where it is status, I'll just put it somewhere, right? It's substatus. Okay, let me put near to, I think, here. So this particular table basically is going to be manage the asset CI hardware, and you can see the sync direction here. It's configuration item to asset, asset to configuration item, or the both. If it is both, means whenever you are changing from CI to asset, CI, that will impact to asset. If it is you're changing on asset, that will impact to CI. But something is related to one way only, right? If I'm just mentioning configuration item to asset, so this one out of stock, configuration item status is out of stock, and sub status I just put received, that will impact, that will not changing anything on the asset side, that will only changing on my CI. So example, if I go here, what is this, in stock, I think so, out of stock and received. Here it is. I'm not able to see. I think I'm missing one field, which is status or state. No, I think I'm missing something. Let me check that one. Used for is there state? Where is state? Because we required that item configuration item. Okay, that is hardware status. My bad. Substatus, this one. Okay, yeah, here. So if I just put hardware status is out of stock and this is received, this will change, but it will not impact anything on my asset side. Whatever is there, it will be the same, right? So we just need to be think only that. What I'm trying to say here, this is for asset CI field mapping. If some field attribute is changing from CI to asset, asset to CI, that particular table is referring. If you want to do some more addition on it, you can go and create that one. This is for related to, install status mapping related to operational status or install status, whatever you are going to be changed on the CI or asset, that will work in the same way. And this is for completely for hardware type of assets, where hardware status of the CI is going to be matched, right? So you can refer this particular table, how the status is going to be changed and how the status are synced to each other, right? That is end goal, which I'm just trying to showcase you, right? I hope it's clear to you guys, basically. Any questions in that one?
Yeah, Jay. So in real time, are we using this state mapping? Are we changing it anytime?
100%. If you have to manage the CI lifecycle, you are going to be use that one.
Mhm.
Right. So because you are responsible for the CMDB, you have to be manage the CI lifecycle, CMDB lifecycle, right? So you are going to be manage this one. You have to be going. Or if you are managing, you should know that. No, what I see on the ServiceNow community couple of times, my status is changed to retired, my status changed to stolen. I'm not sure why it's happening on my CMDB, but we don't know. It's happened through these particular tables. If something changing on the asset side, that will be happening.
Okay.
So we should know that about it. Next is CMDB group. Okay. And CMDB group is nothing, we can configure this particular CMDB groups just to be showcased to a particular type of, I can say LOB or users or groups. These are my, devices which belongs to here, right? So if I just quickly open this particular one, database. So if someone comes to us and wants to ask us, okay, can you please help me to create a group, or can you please help me to showcase my all type of Windows server? So I can go and create a CMDB group and create some coded encoded queries here, and based on that I can fetch the informations, right? So here if I click on the show all CIS, that will give me the all database which belongs to him or which belongs to them related to Windows server or whatever, right? So it just for a specific LOB, a specific user group, or a specific requirements which we want to, and where the CMDB groups is going to be use it, that going to be use it in, after that in the technical services, when which we are going to be discussed in the service mapping side, right? So this particular group you can utilize in the technical service, and where the technical users able to see that particular grouping or the reporting of it, right? It's just very simple here. If I click on a new, and if I just put Windows Server example, group type is default or health, I'm just putting the default, and you can see CMD workspace is also available now. So where you want to be showcased, and I just put it Windows, where it is, yeah, here I can put the encoded. There are three ways. CMDB groups contain saved queries. If you have already query builder, created on that, and if you want to be get it from there. After that, I just want to showcase you the query builder. CMDB groups contains encoded query, where you just need to be put some filter conditions, or that are things basically like in which table you want to be applied. Like it's for Windows, so I'm just going to be Windows Server CI overview condition. If you want to put based on that, like I'm just going to be install status is installed. If any condition other want to be put, like I can say name start with anything. Let me see if Windows Server, what is the most of the type name is. Oh shit. Cluster. Name start with cluster, right? Just that's it. Let me submit this. So I can see, oh, let me go back. It's open the computer table here. I'm hating this particular feature. When you're opening something, it's open the different thing immediately once you saved it. So here, if I just put it condition here in the CMDB CI server, this is showcasing on the cluster, and if I show all CI, I will able to see in a single go the all cluster related records, right? So this is just basically showcasing on the filter conditions, whatever you have put it, like that will helpful for particular type of users group, or particular type of LOBs, if they want to see how many servers in Windows or complete CMDB they are owning and they are working on it, right? So you can create that particular CMDB groups basically. And as I mentioned, that's going to be used in the technical service mappings as well once you create these particular things here. So that's nothing too much here on this CMDB group side. That's it basically. Any questions in that one? CMDB groups.
CMDB group is only for reporting, Ajay, or?
No, as I mentioned, it just to give a visualizations to different type of stakeholders if they want to see a what type of CI is available, or how many CIs we have, what CIs or what informations we have. Also, as I mentioned, that's going to be used in the technical service, which we are going to be covering the technical, service mapping side basically. So it's for technical user visibility, right? If they want to be see if technical users means if any, let's take an example. Let me give you a scenario here again. We have in organization we have 10 Windows Server team, right? And that all 10 Windows Server team is responsible for different LOBs, right? So A LOB, B LOB, C LOB, like that, all are responsible for that. I'm bothering for my Windows Server which is belongs to LOB A. How can I see that? Because when I'm going to be configure a Windows Server for LOBA, I'm going to be use some specific naming convention or something is there. Based on that, I can identify it, right? So I can create the CMDB groups, and that CMDB groups I can tag with the technical services, and I can have a view of the technical service. If any Windows Server impacted from there, I have a visibility. This is impacted, and let's take an action on it, right? That is the end goal basically. Or if I don't want to configure technical service, I don't have the service mapping, I have a visibility. I can go here in the CMDB group and see my all servers, and that's automatically, we have put it based on the filter condition. So that automatically updating if we are adding more servers here. So it will give me, I am LOBA owning 100 servers, LOBB owning is 20 servers or whatever. It give me a reporting or visualization of my all devices. Okay. I hope
Okay, yeah, thank you.
clear. Then we have a CMDB query builder. I think that is something amazing. Go on. So what is the use of the CMDB query builder and why, it's useful? Whenever the requirements of reporting, you are all getting it, right? So if just simple requirement on a single table, you can go in the report section, you can create a report on any table, right? And you can do that. But query builders comes in the picture when you have a requirement of managing more than one table and showcase a report of it, right? So example, if I click on the new, now there are two things, CMDB query or service mapping query. Service mapping query we'll discuss on the service mapping side. I just mentioned to you, right? Now, if I click on the CMDB query, here in the CMDB query builder, you can merge, you can connect more than two tables or three tables, and you can create a report on it. Okay, so now let me take an example here. Let me ask you an example in different way. If I have a Windows server, okay, and if I ask you, can you help me out? How many Windows, on my Windows server, how many application service are running on it, right? You cannot do it from Windows server table because you have just built that particular things using the relationships, right? If some attribute is on Windows server related to application service, you can do it, right? You can go to that report section, just select the Windows server table and group by, or put a filter condition application services, something like this, and you can create a report on it and you can send it to the customer, right? But here, if that is somehow it's going to be managed through a relationship, right? Like Windows server runs this particular application or runs this particular application service. So you cannot create that relationships where in that particular picture CMDB query or query builder comes in the picture, where you have to be create a report clubbing two tables basically. Here also one more recently added is non CMDB tables, which is not belongs to the CMDB, like groups or user or the location or the company. You can also create reporting using those particular tables as well. If I just quickly showcase you, and it's it's just something you have to be explore from your side to be do that, but let me, it's running slow. Okay. Let's take an example. I'm taking an example of Windows Server again. So if I have Windows Server, I just search it. Wow. What happened? Let me refresh this one again. Not sure why it's running that much slow today. Okay, so I have Windows Server now, but I need to check how many applications are running on it. Let me create one application. Let me search. Applications. I'm just taking the all applications. Now I have two tables. What I need to do, I need to create the relationships of these particular things, right? So what I did here basically, I just connect this particular Windows server with the application server, right? Now also what more you can do, you can apply some filter here as well, right? I just want to see which is install status is installed. This is for my Windows here, and okay, and if that's done, I can put this particular query. If I need to be applied already a filter, if I just need to see, and I can run this particular query. Let me run this one. Pick starting node is application one. Okay, query is invalid, at least connection is valid. Okay, let me do something, but I did wrong. No. Okay, let me remove this one. Handling this particular query builder is little tricky, but if we are able to do that, okay. Let me see, first level relationships, no relationships. Let me run this. Yeah. So and is using these particular two tables, we can create a report, how many servers, how many applications running on it, right? So servers are, I'm getting what I am getting here. I am getting the all applications which is running on my Windows server, which I'm not able to get it, right? But again, I can add the different table. Okay, let me add this particular fields as well, because that's run on my application server. Query is there, but here I just missed one thing here, which is something related to the Windows server. Applied filter. Let me cross this one. Let me run this one again. Basically, I just want to see what application is running on which Windows server. Okay, again, I'm getting the same thing. No, this is something wrong. What I'm doing. No. What I'm missing. Handling this one because I'm not using this one too much. Is something tricky, but yeah, I think you guys can explore this one, right? It's not that much easy to be handle it, but I think you are able to get it once you are going to be configure the couple of CMDB query build CMDB queries using that, right? So it just to be more than one table or two table. If you want to get a reporting, if some requirement is there, you can use this particular CMDB query builder. Basically, I don't want to be spend too much time on this particular things. Basically, it's little tricky to my side. Okay, I think that's all for complete CMDB and discovery side. Quickly, last one thing. Discovery home. This is one of the good, or if you want to see the all discovery related errors, you can go here, you can navigate to discovery home from navigation panel and check the all errors, all related things in a single place. Right, schedules, how many schedules are active? I can see the two schedules are active, right? What are the two schedules? This is something related to that, right? How many errors are there in this particular schedule? What are the errors related to that, right? So I can see SSL authentication fail, operating system, Unix servers, on which IP that error it is, right? So I can see this IP it is, right? So here, from discovery home, we we can check all type of error on a single place related to my complete discovery issues. If I go here, I just showcase you from here, but if I quickly click on the all errors, right? So if you see the 3 is configuration error, 1 is credential error, 3 is internal error. If some customization, performance, CMDB, network errors are there, that will also showcase. If I just quickly click on the configuration, there are errors on the pattern field related to Amazon AWS relational database service or Amazon AWS service account service patterns, right? So that's R field basically. If I click on this one, I can see it, right? That's R field basically. If I need to do the retry discovery, I can do the retry discovery from here. That will start it the discovery from here because but error it does not contain IP. That's not done because this particular error basically coming from when I run the discovery for AWS basically, right? And now you can also manage from that, you know, if you want to create some task and assign to someone, means, you know, this particular place is give you the complete holistic view of your discovery errors in a single place. If you don't want to navigate to discovery schedule or the discovery status and other things, you can come here, you can do that, and you can also ignore error. Like, you know, if I just ignore error, I can ignore it and that should be removed from here. So if someone, if your organizations or, you know, they want to see how many discovery errors is running, what type of discovery errors we have it, you can come here and you can showcase this particular informations to them. Okay, and you can also ignore it. Once it is ignored, that will not come again till the time you are not running discovery. But as I mentioned, for, you know, to do that, we need to be fix it permanently, that issues, right? The same way we have some internal errors. Let me go here, unexpected, right? So this error is nothing, right? So this is something related to, again, for the discovery, this is nothing, we can ignore it. But if you feel this is unable to establish a connection, we can you can ignore or you can retry the discovery. Let me try to retry the discovery, right? It's immediately, if it is IP is there, discovery will be immediately started. If it is fixed, that will showcase, you know, that is gone. Or if you want to create some task on it, create task, you can assign to that particular task to that any team member. If you feel, you know, that's not related to us, that's related to, I can say, network team, right? Because network team is not open the particular ports or the credentials is incorrect. So you can assign to that particular team to be check the IP address and the credentials to them so they can verify it, right? So that's possible from discovery home here. If you are able to see all things is visible, one service account, because I just did for AWS cloud service account. So that's why it's showcasing service account. These are the discover device, which is discovered in last, you know, couple of days. So I can see it here as well. How many ESX servers, Linux servers, IP router, one Windows server is discovered from last couple of days. Okay. Is that clear? This one is also, I think, clear, right?
Yeah, fine, Ajay.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone else? Query builders, you have to be just do it from your side. I think I will do it from my side as well and just try to create a one query by coming Monday or Tuesday. We'll showcase you on that side as well if possible.
Can you show me any real-time scenarios, Jay, regarding that query builders, like how the requirement comes and how we need to showcase?
I will try. I will try, Mastan. But as I mentioned, you know, I'm not working on that much query builder side. So we'll see. If I get something, I will definitely about.
Sure, Ajay.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I think we are good for today. Any other questions from anyone else?
So Ajay, if you can show that tomorrow product model setup or some sample, just where actually we can create those models, model categories.
I think not a big deal.
Is it better
Okay.
now?
Yes. I'm mentioning I will do that one.
Okay.
No
Okay.
issue.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, I think then thank you guys. Thank you so much. We'll connect tomorrow again and we'll see for AWS cloud discovery and, you know, that product model things basically.
Okay. Thanks, Ajay.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.